Hey, how is it going, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube channel of Petroleum from Scratch. I'm Jayesh Char, and this is Petroleum Data Analytics and Machine Learning playlist. So, in our previous video, we have started about discussing some NumPy functions that will come handy in your way towards becoming a data scientist. So, we have already discussed arithmetic functions like addition, subtractions, power functions, quotient functions, how to find remainder using NumPy. So in this video, we are going to discuss some more functions, some important functions like dot product, how to take dot product of two vectors, rounding functions, trigonometric functions, matrix multiplication functions that will come handy in your way towards deep learning when you are going to deal with the images and images data and time series data. In that case, you need to have good hold on matrix multiplications and all these functions. So we are going to start this video by discussing infinity and nan. So as you know, in what happens when we divide some number by zero, it is going to return an infinity. But in Python, what happens if you are going to divide a number by zero? For example, you are going to divide 3 by 0, it is going to give you an error, that is zero division error, division by zero. So but for some cases we need to deal with infinite as a number, or if infinite as a denotation in your data frame, so that you can know that infinity is present. So in that case, NumPy also helps. How? We are going to see. Okay, I have imported NumPy as NP. Now I'm going to write a np dot array, and I'm going to make a array of consisting 3. So here it is my array. So whenever I'm going to divide it by 0, it is going to give me an INF, infinity, because in NumPy there is an object present, INF, representing infinity. How you can call that? Just write np.inf, and sorry, I use the brackets. Just write np.inf, and you are going to get an infinity. If you want a variable, if you want a variable and assign the value of that variable as infinity, you just write a, or anything. Let us write a is equal to np.inf, and it is, whenever you are going to call a, it is going to give you infinity. In a similar way, other object is also present, known as nan. Now what is nan? Nan is generally represent a missing value or a blank value. So sometimes we also need to deal with these missing values. So in that case, in NumPy, there is this other object known as nan, that you can use for your dealing with the missing values, or dealing with the blank values. So how to get this nan? Just write np.nan, and you are going to get nan. Here you can see again, if you want to assign this assign the variable and giving the value of nan, or assigning a blank variable, you just need to represent it like this: a equal to np.nan. So in that way, you are going to get a, and its value is going to be nan. So these are infinity and nan. So in simple Python, as you can see, you do not get anything when you are going to divide by 0. But if you are going to divide a NumPy array by 0, you are going to get an infinity, or a infinite object, this NumPy infinite object. So now coming on to our next topic, that is nothing but our dot product. So as you guys will be familiar with the dot product, you have learned it in physics and mathematics also. Let us consider an array A, array, which is nothing but my np dot array, and let us assign some values to it: 1 2 3 44 5. So this is a this is an array consisting of 5 elements. In a similar way, I'm going to write other array b, np dot array, that is again consisting my 5 elements. Here you can see. So this is my array A, and this is my array B. So now I want to find the dot product of this array. So what is the dot product? Dot product is nothing but the sum of products of each elements present in array. So if I want to find the dot product of array A and B, that will be nothing but 3 multiplied by 1 plus 4 multiplied by 2 plus 5 multiplied by 3, in that way. So how you can do that? You just write array A dot, and then write dot dot, and provide the input as your array B. Here you can see array B. So it is going to return me a dot product of array and array B, that will be equal to 325. So in that way you can find the dot product. In a similar way, now dot product has been covered. Now we are going to discuss about transpose. So what is transpose? Transpose, as you know, if you have studied matrices, everyone have studied matrices in their high school. So for example, I have this matrix ARE, which is my 2 cross 4 matrix. So transpose of this 2 cross 4 matrix will be, my rows will become my columns and my columns will become my rows. So transpose of this 2 cross 4 matrix will be of my 4 cross 2. So this row will this row will come here as my first column, and the second row will come here as my second column. So how to do that? Just write your matrix that you want to get a transpose, write dot, and after that just write T. It is going to return me a transpose of this array. Here you can see my 2 cross 4 matrix has been converted into 4 cross 2, or its transpose. And you can store this array in your some other array, let us say ART equal to ARE dot transpose. So whenever you are going to write ART, it is going to return transpose of array ARE. So in that case, in that way you can take the transpose. Now let us consider that you have certain array. You have certain array and you want to find the minimum value from that array, maximum value from that array, or mean value and standard values. So NumPy array also provides these functions for your help in finding the minimum, maximum, mean value and standard values. So let us consider that I have an array ARD, which is having these many values, let us say, and I want to get the minimum value of this ARD. As you can see, my minimum value is minus 110. So how to get the minimum values? Here you can see that it is a limited array, or this is a short array, but in real life there are going to be a huge data sets in lakhs or in millions. So in that case you are not able to visualize each and every point. So in that scenario you need to use these NumPy functions. For example, in this scenario I want to get my minimum values from this array ARD. So what I have to do, I just need to write my array name ARD dot min, and giving in the parentheses, and this is going to return me the minimum value, that is minus 110. In a similar way, if you want to get the maximum value, do the similar thing, just write max in place of min, and you are good, you are having your maximum value from this array. In a similar way, this is about minimum and maximum value. Now what happens in some scenarios, you need to get the index of your minimum value, that at what point, at what place your minimum value is present. In play, not the exact value, you need to get the place at what minimum value is present in your array. So for finding the index of the minimum value, you can use other function known as argmin, that is going to return me index of my this minus 110 in this array ARD. So here you can see that minus 110, or the minimum value, is present on the 9th index in my array ARD. In a similar way, you can also find the index of your maximum value present in your array, just writing arg max. So here you can see that this 556, or the largest value, is present at 10th index, just one index later than my minimum value. Here you can also see that, okay, minus 110 is present here, and 556, the highest value, is present just one place after the minimum value. So in that way you can find minimum value and maximum values. You can also find the mean. You can also find the mean of this array. How? Just by using ARD dot mean. Here you can see the mean of this array ARD is 64. In a similar way, you can also find in a similar way, you can also find standard deviation by using STD. STD is going to return me standard deviation. As you remember from our random number generation, we have discussed that standard deviation is nothing but it will give us the dispersion of your distribution, how your distribution is spread, how spread is your distribution. So in this dot standard, the function is going to return me the value of standard deviation for my given array. Now here you can see that your array is not sorted. It is kind of having mixed values. Firstly, it is increasing, that you are having a negative values, then again it is increasing and decreasing. If you now, so in some scenarios, in some cases, you need to have a sorted value of your array. So NumPy functions also provide a function for sorting your array, that is just simple, just write the name of your array, and after that write sort parenthesis, and whenever you are going to call your array ard, here you can see that your array has been sorted. So in that way, for a given array, you can find minimum value, maximum value, mean value, standard values, or argument of minimum and maximum values. You can sort the arrays in that way. Now there is some other functions that are useful. The next functions we are going to talk about are the rounding functions. For example, you have an array that is having certain decimal places. You are having an array that have elements that are consist of several decimal places. Here you can see that we have 0 0.4, 0 0.89, 0 0.000034, 35343 in these ways. And you want to once a minute, here you can see this is your array, and you want to round off your array. For example, you want to round off to first decimal place. That okay, for this 0.89, I just need to have a value of 0.9. I don't need the whole values. In a similar way, if it is if it is going to 5-6 decimal places, it just need to return me 0 value. Here you can see that it need to return me 1.6. So NumPy also provide you that functions for doing these thing only. Just write your array name, write round, and just write the decimal points up to which you want to get your array need to be rounded off. For example, I want to round off to first decimal place. Here you can see that my whole array has been rounded off to first decimal place. Here you can see we are getting 0, we are getting 1.6 for 1.56, we are getting 89 for this 89.97. We are getting minus 1.5 for this minus 1.54. In a similar way, let us consider that you have certain number, for example 1.53456 blah 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 in that way, and you want to round off it into 3 decimal places. You can use the np.round function and give the value that you want to round off and give the number of decimals that you want to round off. Here I am given 3 decimal points, so it has rounded my value to 3 decimal points. Here you can see 1.345. So in that using this round off function, you can round off your values. So you can round off to any decimal values. So for example, in the above one, if you want to round off to 4 decimal values, you can round off to these 4 values. As you can see, you will only get 0.4 here because this is consisting of 1 decimal value only. So if you are going to write anything here, it is anything greater than 1, it is going to give you 0.4 only. It is not going to give you 0.4000 like that way. And you, as you know, 0.4 and 0.40 is nothing but equal. So in that way, you can get the rounded off values for your function. Now, if you want to round off your values to the nearest lower integer, for example, you have this 0.4 and you want that I want to round off it to nearest lower integer, means 0. So for doing that, there is this function known as floor in NumPy that is present. Just write np.floor and give your array name or anything. For example, if you want to round off integers, if you round, sorry, not integers, if you want to round off numbers like this, just to give the value of numbers or arrays or list, anything, and it is going to give you return numbers that are rounded to nearest lower integer. Here, for example, you can see it is rounded to 0. It is also rounded to 0. It is rounded to 1. It is rounded to 3. In that scenario, this is floor. In a similar way, floor, as you can see, floor is present downward. In a similar way, there is other function known as ceil, just like ceiling, that is present upward. That is going to round off to your nearest largest upper integer, largest value. For example, here is the example for the same array. The name is np.ceil, and it is going to round off to my large upper value, upper integer. As you can say, you can remember it in this way, that floor is present downwards and ceil is present upwards. So floor is going to round off to your lower integer, ceil is going to round off to your upper integer. So these are the rounding functions that are provided by NumPy. Now we are going to discuss about some trigonometric functions, very important trigonometric functions, as sometimes we need to deal with the wave data and all those things. And as you know, wave is nothing but trigonometric. Wave is nothing but represented by sum of addition or subtraction of trigonometric functions, sine values, cosine values, or tan values. In that way only you can represent a wave distribution. So what happens, let us consider our array ARA, which is nothing but this. Now I want to find the sine values at these points. And guys, there is this function known as np.sine. Just provide the value of the array or value of anything that you want to get the sine values. For example, I want to find the sine values at each elements that are present in my array ARA. So just write np.sine, provide ARA, and it is going to return me sine values at these points. And these points are to be considered as radians. These are not degrees. These are radians. By default, these are radians. For example, let us say I want to get the sine value of pi by 2. Pi by 2 is my, as you know, at pi by 2, sine value will be 1. So for pi, there is also function present in numpy, np.pi, and divide it by 2, and it is going to return me 1. So you can see that your sine function is working properly. In a similar way, you can also get value for 0. Just like sine, there is function present for cos. You can see np.cos 0 is going to return me 1. np.cos pi by 2 is going to return me 0, or nearby 0. You can see 10 raised to power minus 17, because this pi by 2 or this pi is also kind of round off to certain decimals. It is not exactly a value of pi. As you know, pi is an irrational number, so it is hard for our programming languages to go that far, so that our cos value or sine values at pi will give us exact result. So in a similar way, you can use cos function also. Now, if you want to convert these radian values into degrees, so for that also NumPy provides you function name as np.degrees. And here, for example, I'm going to provide it np.pi. It is going to return me the value for pi. Here you can see the value for pi in degrees is 180. As you know, pi is nothing but 180 degrees. So this np.degrees can be used for converting your radian values into degree values. So yeah, in a similar way, you can also convert your radian values to degree values by using np.degrees. And apart from that, there are also functions for your inverse trigonometric functions. For example, if you want to get an inverse of 1, what will be sine inverse 1? So for that, there are also present the inverse trigonometric function that are represented by arc sine. For example, I want to get the value of sine inverse 1. Just write np.arcsine and pass your number that you want to get inverse value. It is going to np.arcsine. It is going to return me pi by 2. It is from 1.57 is nothing but pi by 2. And if I want to convert this radian into degrees, just use np.degrees and provide it like that. Here you can see that you get 90 degrees for your value of 1. Sine inverse 1 will be equal to 90 degree. So in that way, you can use inverse trigonometric functions also. Same applies for cos inverse and tan inverse, all those things. Now, apart from these trigonometric function, there is one other function known as hypotenuse function. So this hypotenuse function will take the value of a base and perpendicular of a right angle triangle and give you value of the hypotenuse of your right angle triangle by using nothing but your Pythagoras theorem. For example, here I have written a np.hypotenuse and I have provided the value of base and my height as 3 and 4. And as you know, if you are going to apply Pythagoras theorem at it, the value for hypotenuse will be nothing but square root of 3 square plus 4 square. That is going to be equal to 5. So it is going to return you 5 hypotenuse function. Remember this. So these are the trigonometric functions that can be used for your calculation. Now we are going to discuss about some logarithmic and exponential functions. So for exponential function, there is this np.exp present. And if I'm going to, you just need to pass the value of power you want to give to your exponential. exponential value, E value. As you know, E equal to 2.718. For example, I want to calculate the value of e raised to power 1. Just give value 1 inside your np.exp. Here you can see that we are getting an output of 2.718. That is nothing but my exponential value. In a similar way, if I want to find the value of exponent 2 e to the power 2, just give the value of the power that you want to find out. In a similar way, if I want to get an array, if I want to get an array of consisting of different elements that are corresponding to the e raised to power those elements in certain present in certain different array. For example, this I want to have an array that is consisting of e raised to power 1, e raised to power 2, e raised to power 4, and e raised to power 6. So just give inside give a list of these values and write np.exponential, and you are going to get an array for these values. Here you can see. So this is exponential function. In a similar way, you can also use log function that are present in NumPy by np.log. First of all, we are going to discuss about natural log. Natural log is nothing but your log e raised to power log to the base e. Log to the base e is your natural log. So when you are going to write np.log1, as you all know, log1 is nothing but 0. It is going to return me 0. Now, in a similar way, if I want to get np.log of my np.exp1, so as you know, it is going to return 1. So this is a natural log. In a similar way, there is a log base 10 also present in my NumPy. Just write np.log10 in place of np.log and give inside the value for which you want to calculate the logarithmic value of the logarithmic function. For example, here I have given 10 inside log 10, it is going to return me 1. If I want to calculate the log 10 value of my 100, as you can say, 100 is nothing but 10 raised to power 2. So it is going to return me 2. So just like this, there is one other function for logarithmic, that is log2. Because generally, guys, what happens, we generally use natural log or log raised to or log base 10 or log base 2 in most of our calculations. So these three logarithmic functions has been provided by NumPy. Here you can see. So these are logarithmic functions. Now our final function that we are going to discuss is matrix multiplication. As we have earlier, we have discussed about simple multiplications of two arrays. Here we are going to discuss about matrix multiplication. So first of all, let us consider that let us make a matrix. Let us make, or you can say, construct a 2D array. Like this. Here I have constructed a 2D array AR, that is my 2x4 array containing 2 rows and 4 columns, and I want I am making my other array ART that is going to have a 4x2 values, 4x2 shape. As you know, for two matrices to be multiplied, A and B are two matrices and they need to be multiplied. A is of shape M cross N and B is of shape N cross J. So these number of columns present in my A matrix need to be equal to number of rows present in my B matrix. Understand, guys? As you can see that M is my number of rows in A, N is my number of rows in A. So this number of columns in A. So this number of columns in A need to be equal to number of rows in B. Here you can see that my B is of N cross J, and their product is going to be of shape M cross J. This is nothing but simple mathematics, simple high school mathematics. If you remember, this is the only condition needed to multiply two matrices. That number of columns present in matrix A need to be equal to number of rows present in matrix B. That's why I'm taking a 2x4 matrix and 4x2 matrix. So my resultant, my matrix multiplication of these two will be of shape 2x2. Or you can say M cross J. So for multiplying the matrices, you just need to use @ sign. AR and @ ART, and it is going to return me a 2x2 matrix of a matrix multiplication. So in that way you can calculate the matrix multiplication for any two given matrices. So this is all about NumPy. This is all about your Python package NumPy. We have discussed a lot of things. We have discussed arrays, we have discussed reshape functions, we have discussed how to manipulate array values, or how to do certain things with the arrays. We have also seen example related to reservoir simulation using NumPy arrays. We have discussed about functions that NumPy provides us, mathematical and scientific functions. We have also discussed random number generation. So all these things are very important, guys. These are going to be used a lot when when machine learning and deep learning, all those things comes into play. So please practice a lot. So from our next video, we are going to start our new module of Python. Let it be pandas or plotting libraries. I don't know. We will see whatever comes next. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this course on NumPy. So if you enjoyed, please like the video. Thank you all. Have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you all. Bye.